Welcome students to Nita's EduSeekers. For the quality education, don't forget that Nita's EduSeekers. So students, today we are going to have a new chapter from the book number 2. The chapter name is India's External Relation. Student, this is the fourth chapter of part B. In this chapter, we are going to deal with the important issues. So let's have the glimpse of the important terms. First of all, we will see the meaning. Then we will talk about the objective of the foreign policy of India. Then principles of foreign policy of India. Then we will talk about the directive principles of state policy. Then the other topic is nuclear policy of India. After this, the major issues we are going to discuss with the neighboring country of India, that is India and China, India and Pakistan. And besides this, Tibet issue, Badang conference and other topics will also be discussed here. So students, let's start with the meaning. What is the meaning of foreign policy? Actually, foreign policy of a nation, it reflects the systematic statement of the national interest. So along with the national interest, it also interplay the domestic as well as the external factor. Here I would like to explain that domestic means the internal affair of the state and the external means the international affairs of the state. So foreign policy deals with the internal as well as external affairs of a state or a country. Then in India, the foreign policy, it was framed by the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He is also known as the architecture of Indian foreign policy because he set the national agenda for the foreign policy. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he was the first prime minister as well as he was the foreign minister of India at that time. So he formulated a very important influential foreign policy. It was also implemented very efficiently. So during the time period from 1946 to 1964, it was the very crucial time period when the foreign policy framed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was implemented. So let's see what are the objective of the foreign policy which was set by the Nehru. Actually, the first objective, the first aim was to follow the NAM principle. Students, you must remember about NAM. This is the non-alignment movement, and whatever the members were there, they also followed the same principles. Normally we used to say the NAM countries were those who didn't join any bloc of the world. At that time two blocs were there. First was the USA bloc and the Soviet Union, and NAM countries didn't follow or didn't join any bloc. So the main target was why they remain aligned. Yes, to promote the rapid economic development and to maintain the cordial relation with the neighboring countries or other nations. So it was the major motive, major objective of the foreign policy to be aligned and also have the good relation with the other countries. Then India also wanted to have the perfect territorial integrity. Territorial means regional, related to its area. It want to have the integrity. Unity and integrity was a major feature of India's foreign policy, and the very important issue that was to maintain its sovereignty, to preserve, to save the sovereignty of India. You know what is the meaning of the sovereignty? Students, this is the major element of a state. Without sovereignty, a state cannot be called an independent state. So, sovereignty means when the country is totally free to take its internal as well as external decision by itself. So, India want to preserve its sovereignty. So, the major objective was to maintain national integrity, territorial integrity, good relation with the other nations, and to maintain its sovereignty. Students, I would like to remind you this is a very important question for the board exams. Let's see other principles of India's foreign policy. What principles were laid down to follow the foreign policy? Actually, India is a peace loving country. So it was based on the principle of Panchsheel. You must remember the word Panchsheel. It is the combination of two words, that is Panch means five and Sheel means a code of conduct for peaceful existence. So our foreign policy was basically followed by the principle of Panchsheel. The five principles of Panchsheels are here, that non-alignment, not to join any bloc, any power bloc, then mutual benefits and equality. With the country we are having the foreign policy or good relation, trade relations or political or other relations, it means the country is going to have the equal benefits, mutual benefits. Then mutual non-aggression, non-intervention in each other's international affairs, means no country is going to interfere in the internal as well as external affair of the country. To maintain the international peace and understanding, these were the major principles which was set by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru for the foreign policy of India. Now students, will talk about the directive principle of state policy. Yes, directive principle of state policy played a major role to frame the India's foreign policy. As you know, in the Indian Constitution, Article 51, it deals with the directive principle of state policy. I would like to mention here what is the meaning of directive principle of state policy. Actually, in the Indian Constitution, under the Article 51, there are some directions to the state government, to the government of India, that how it should work. So these are the major guidelines or directions which is known as directive principle of state policy. So its major concept is there, which is focused to maintain peace and security. First of all, promote international peace and security. Then maintain just and honorable relation between the nations. Then foster respect for international law and treaty obligations in the dealings of organized people with one another. Encourage the settlement of international dispute by arbitration. Students, overall, the foreign policy of India is totally dependent on the directive principle of state policy, which also shows that India is a peace loving country. It wants to maintain its peace, security and good peaceful relation with the other countries. Now we will talk about the India's nuclear policy. What is the nuclear policy of India? As the title shows, the nuclear policy deals with the nuclear weapons, but there were the different scenario after the Second World War. India advocates no first use, and India also committed to the global verifiable on the non-discriminatory nuclear disarmaments. So I would like to explain here, after the Second World War, the major blocks, the major two powers of the world, that is USA and USSR, they have already developed the nuclear weapons. But Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru promoted the science and technology should be there in the modern India. But the nuclear power, the nuclear technology, it should be used for the peaceful purposes, not for the destructive purposes. So there was the major scientist, that is Homi J. Bhabha. After the 1940s, he also introduced the science and technology should be promoted in India. So India was against the nuclear weapons. It pleaded many nuclear disarmaments with the superpowers. But India always considered NPT. NPT means the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. India considered this as a discriminator. Why it was a discriminatory? Because this policy favors the power blocks, the major countries of the world, that is England, France, America. So it was only favoring those countries. But India didn't like this policy, so India refused to sign on the NPT. Even after that, India's first nuclear test, which was occurred in 1974, it was termed with a peaceful explosion. It was happened in the 1974 in Rajasthan at a Pokhran place. So we will talk in the detailed way that why India opposed the international treaties on the nuclear non-proliferations, because India found that it was very discriminatory in the nature. It favors only the power bloc, not the developing countries. So India felt that these treaties proved the monopoly of the five nuclear weapon powers only. Five nuclear powers, we can say America, England, Russia, and France, China, and it was applicable to only the non nuclear powers. So India opposed the indefinite extension of the NPT in 1995 and refused to sign even on the CTBT. What is the meaning of the CTBT? Means Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. After this, as we already have discussed, first test, uh, India first signed its test at Pokhran. Now, students, we will talk about the India's relation with the neighboring country. First of all, we will talk about the India and China. What type of relations were there between India and China? Actually, there was the conflict between India and China in the early days after the independence. How the serious conflict arose between India and China? It was due to the Tibet issue. We will also discuss the Tibet issue in detail. Actually, in 1950, the historical buffer between two nations and India didn't oppose this openly. So India grew uneasy when China began to suppress the Tibetan culture. Another reason was China claimed Aksai Chin, the area of India, and the Nepha. These are the areas of Arunachal Pradesh within the Indian territory. Despite the long term correspondence and discussions, these issues have not been resolved. So, naturally, there was the conflict, and there was a war between India and China. So, the major issue of the war was Tibet issue. Tibet issue was the major issue which caused the war and tension between India and China. So students, let's have the detail of that event from the very beginning. From the time to time, China has claimed its administrative control over the Tibet. In 1950, China took over the control of Tibet. Large section of Tibetan population, they opposed this takeover. They were not in favor of this Chinese invasion. Then in 1958, there was an armed upspring in Tibet against China's occupation. So India also supported the Tibetan people, but this thing was not tolerated by the Chinese. It was bitterly objected by China, and even India has granted asylum to Dalai Lama. You know who was the Dalai Lama? It was the religious leader of Tibet. He came to India and India provided him shelter here along with the many Tibetan people. So this event, it was not liked by China, and the result was there was a full scale war between India and China. You can see the cartoon here. Earlier, when the treaty was there between India and China, both were having the slogan that Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. But after the war, the China did not preserve the policies, rules and regulations. So after that, the slogan is shown as Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. See, this was the issue shown by the cartoon. This issue was expressed through the cartoon when China invaded India in 1962. So let's talk about the other neighboring country. We also are having the conflict with the other neighboring country, that is Pakistan. So Issues between India and Pakistan. Why the issue took place? Actually, the major issue happened when Pakistan leading to war in 1970s. One. Actually, a serious armed struggle arose between India and Pakistan in December 1971. When Pakistan attacked on Punjab, Rajasthan, in turn India had to retaliate the war against the Pakistan. India had to bear 80 lakh of refugees who fled from the East Pakistan. East Pakistan means the Bangladesh to took shelter in India. Let's see the detail of the issue. India supported the Bangladesh. So due to this, India and Pakistan were having the bitter relations. Actually, Bangladesh is a neighboring country. Pakistan faced its biggest crisis in the way for the split verdict. That is Zulfikar Bhutto, that is the leader, the party. He won the election in the West Pakistan, while Awami League led by the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman swept through the East Pakistan. So students, here you must remember about the East Pakistan and the West Pakistan. East Pakistan, that is the Pakistan, and the Bangladesh, and which was the part of the Pakistan, and West Pakistan, that is the Pakistan, neighboring country of India. So there were the conflict between the two leaders, Zulfikar Bhutto and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So Bengali population of East Pakistan, they voted to protest against the discriminatory attitude of West Pakistan. Actually, the Western Pakistan, the nowadays Pakistan, it was interfering in the East Pakistan. East Pakistan means the West Bengal. So, the people of Bangladesh, the East Pakistan, they protested this attitude. In 1971, what happened? Pakistani army they arrested the Sheikh Mujibur and unleashed a region of terror in the East Pakistan. So this started the people's struggle to liberate the Bangladesh from Pakistan. Then another issue was there. The full India supported the Bangladesh, no doubt. India often supported this, and result was a full-scale war between India and Pakistan in December 1971 broke out. When Pakistani armies they attacked on Punjab and Rajasthan to be retaliated an attack from India also. So within 10 days the Indian army surrendered Dhaka and Pakistan had to surrender with the Bangladesh as a free country. So India declared a unilateral ceasefire and Shimla agreement was signed between India and Pakistan in 1972. So after the agreement there was a peace in the peace between both country India and Pakistan, yes, for a few months or the years. Most of the people in India they saw this moment as the glory of India and a clear sign of India's growing military power. So it was a great victory of India. Then we will talk about the Badang conference. Students, I would like to mention here this is a very important issue. Badang conference, actually it was the conference held by the NAM members in Indonesia. NAM members, non-alignment members, they met at the Indonesia. It was also known as the Afro-Asian Conference. Actually, the members from Africa and Asian countries, they met in the Badang Conference. Actually, they wanted to have their own independence. They wanted to set their own mutual relations with each one. So the conference was held. This conference is also known as the Afro-Asian Unity. So students, now we will talk about the major important issues that took place during that time period of foreign policy during the early times of Jawaharlal Nehru. So first of all, there was a major agreement Panchsheel in 1954 with China. Then Tashkent Agreement 1966, it also took place after the war of India and China. The agreement took place at the city of Russia, that is Tashkent. Then there was a 20-year treaty between India, Pakistan, and it was held in 1971. Then first nuclear test, the very important glorious event held by the India, it was the nuclear test at Pokhran in 1974. So students, don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel Neeta's Edu Seeker.